how do you navigate? Because you were a great player. You won MVP. You won 2 gold medals. How do you navigate, Charles, when you offer a critique or a criticism of a current NBA great and they shoot back, well, you ain't never won anything. Yeah. What did you do this and what did you do that? How do you navigate that?
Well, you gotta be able to dish it and take it. The one thing I'm really proud of, and I hang my hat on this, I've never been personal with a player.
Right.
I only stick to basketball. Mm-hmm. I only stick to basketball. I would never comment on a guy's personal life. Now, sometimes they get in trouble. I have to say something.
You have to.
But I can look at a guy and say, hey, man, because I get calls all the time from players and agents. Mm-hmm. I said, I'll tell you why I said that. And they're like, okay. I said, this is what pissed me off too, Shannon. Man, why y'all never call me when I said something positive? I said, wait a minute. I said 9 great things about you. Why do you never call me when I said something positive? And I say one critique, and you blow up my phone calling me names. I had this thing with Kobe Bryant one night. So it was a game where he wouldn't shoot.
Right. Against Phoenix, game 7, I think. Because you guys told him he was shooting too much.
Well, he was trying to prove a point.
Oh, yes.
I ain't got no help. So he went the whole second half and shot one time. And I asked him, I said, Ernest said, what? I said, man, I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed in Kobe. He was trying to prove a point that he didn't have any help. He shot one time in the second half. Mm-hmm. And at that time, they were comparing to Michael. I said, Michael, when he played against the Celtics, he's like, I got to get 60 something. I'm going to get it, whatever. He's not going to pout. Kobe starts texting me, you mother. I said, yo, man, I'm doing my job. But you such a asshole. We go back and forth so about this time, it's about 1 a.m. We go back and forth for like 2 hours. I said, yo, man, pick up the phone and call me. Stop texting. And it was great. We laughed about it later. He was mad at the moment. He understood I was doing my job. But it was so funny. We texted each other for 2 hours, Shannon. And it was just mother. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna get mad at dude. That's dude. Call me. Pick up the phone. But it was hilarious. We laughed about it later. Yeah.
So this is the greatest player of all time. It seems to be a 2-man race now. Michael Jordan, LeBron James. Nothing. Hey, Kareem is the most underrated player in the history of the NBA.
Yes,
he was the all-time leading scorer, the third leading rebounder. He won 6 MVPs, mm-hmm. 5 championships, and that make it seem like the man was some sauce.
Yeah. Well, I got nothing but admiration for Kareem. First of all, the activist he's always been.
Yes.
I find let's talk about the Michael LeBron thing. They played in different eras. Mm-hmm. They're, in my opinion, they're right there. It's either A or B.
Okay.
But I will say this about LeBron. Number one, I like him a lot as a person. Mm-hmm. I think he's a nice guy. Mm-hmm. Never said that about Michael Jordan. He'll kill you. He'll kill you. I've said there's 2 things. I put Kobe right there also, but Michael and Kobe will kill you. LeBron's a nice guy.
Right.
Michael and Kobe will kill you. If they played against their sister, she gonna get her ass kicked. LeBron, he ain't gonna beat up his sister. But I would say this about LeBron. I think it's the greatest story of any jock who's ever lived. Because if you go back and look about guys who came out of high school, people forget Kobe struggled early.
He did.
Kevin Garnett struggled early. LeBron James is the only one, because we had his first game. Mm-hmm. I say LeBron James is the only one who didn't struggle right away.
Right.
He came in and was a good player. He wasn't great right away, but he was a good player.
Right.
But also in this generation where everybody's got a cell phone and people out to get you, mm-hmm. He's never gotten in trouble. He's exceeded what
Any expectations.
Any expectations.
Whatever you thought he could be.
Yeah.
And because he was the chosen one
Yes.
on the cover of Sports Illustrated 17. So whatever you thought he could be,
he's just eclipsed it.
He's eclipsed it.
And to never get in trouble in this generation. Like I say, everybody's got a cell phone now. People are deliberately trying to get you.
Yes.
I think it's the greatest sports story ever, in my opinion.
Single mom, he didn't go to college. They gave the keys to the franchise to an 18-year-old kid and says, we're only going to go as far as you take us. And like you said, he's been a model citizen, both on and off. Obviously, to building the brand, Jordan gave everybody the blueprint. Yeah. And we see Kevin Durant, we see the Steph Curry, we see the LeBron James starting production companies, being active outside. Give Junior Bridgeman some credit too. People don't know who that is.
Well, every time I see Junior, I say thank you, because Magic is kind of taking over now.
Oh, yes.
But Junior was a good player, but his portfolio, owning all those restaurants, probably being the first billionaire athlete, to be honest with you. Him, Dave Bing, and also is amazing businessman. But every time I see Junior Bridgeman, like, for a guy who didn't make a ton of money.
That's what's so impressive.
Yeah,
and didn't have the name.
To learn how to handle business. And he's probably got 500 to 1,000 restaurants now. And does it so low key. Does it so low key. Like, every time I'm around here, I try to pick his brain.
Right.
Because it's different now. Because these guys make so much money.
Yeah.
I say, back in our day, I says, dude, and I'm not poo-pooing on this either. I want to make it clear, because when I say it, it's gonna sound stupid. The most money I made was $5 million. That was my last year.
Right.
I says, now that's below the minimum. I says, to be a businessman in our day and become a billionaire, you are great at business.
Right.
You are great at business.
And he wasn't a name. People wanted to attach themselves to Magic.
Yes.
People wanted to attach themselves to Mike.
Yes.
He was Junior Bridgeman.
Just a great businessman and a good dude. Here's to me is one of the greatest stories ever. And if I was the NBA, I would bring him in every year to my teams, and say, guys, because what people don't understand, everybody on an NBA team or NFL team ain't making a lot of money.
True.
Or ain't gonna play a lot of years.
10, 15.
The average, in both sports, the average year is about 4 years. Those are guys who need a Junior Bridgeman. That's like, I was watching the draft last night, and this always annoys me about young kids. I was like, these dudes got Louis Vuitton shirts.
Iced out.
And I don't mind a little ice, but too much ice. They got Dior shoes. I says, they do know that money ain't gonna last forever, right? Get you a pair of Nikes. I'm not paying for no Dior shoes.
But you gotta be nice. Cause you had that cranberry suit on. You were nice, Chuck, with that little skinny tie.
There's nothing wrong with a nice suit. But I tell these guys, Shannon, when I first was an idiot, when I got my money.
Yeah.
I had 3 or 4 cars. And Dr. J says, how many of those cars can you drive at the same time? I said, what do you mean? He says, how many of those cars you got to drive at the same time? I says, 1. He says, well, why you got 4? He said, Chuck, this money got to last you for the rest of your life. He says, this money got to last you the rest of your life. He says, son, don't waste all your money on cars. Everybody know who you are. Wow. He said, if you pull up in a Kia, they know, oh, that's Charles Barkley. If you pull up in a Mercedes-Benz or a Rolls-Royce, that's Charles Barkley. But the problem is that money, it's not the fact that you can't afford that car.
Right.
It's the fact that $300,000 you spent on that Bentley, if you bought a car for $70,000, $80,000, you would have had $200,000 more in the bank, and it would have been growing and growing. And in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 20 years, that $200,000 is going to be worth a lot more.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party, because we like to do something before 2 something.